We can now continue the design. Let's move the fill and stroke editor back where it was. Get the text tool and add some text. Before we make adjustments, recall that previously, in order to make adjustments, we had to select the text like this. But since all the text is going to be the same, we can simply click on the Select tool, and in the Design Central, select the Paragraph options. Once again, this shows that we don't have to have the Text tool active in order to make appearance adjustments to the text. Design Central allows us to do this with the text selected. Click on the Center Justified. Next, we'll change the font by clicking on the Character Options tab and click on the font list. Notice how as we hover over each font, we are given a preview of what the font will look like. In this case, we will choose the NYALA font. We also need to make adjustments to the tracking and the line spacing. We could use the values here, but instead, it would be better to do it visually. Notice the grab handles have changed in appearance. This is one of the more powerful features in the LXI software. This arrow will change the tracking if we click, hold, and drag it out or in. This bottom arrow will allow us to visually adjust the line spacing. Let's adjust it visually. Let's change the color of the text to one of the colors we added to the library earlier. The text we will set to a burgundy. Next, we need to center it to the circle and then center it to the page. We can accomplish this in one step. Let's select both the circle and the text, and click on the Arrange pull-down menu, hover over Align, and click both Center to Page. The next step to our design is to create leaves. Here we will use a new tool, the Bezier Path tool. Let's click on it. To understand how this tool works is to understand the different types of paths. There are two path types, straight line and a Bezier curve. This tool creates both. To create a straight line, click one to start the line, then move the tool to the next location and click again. This creates a straight line. Move the tool to the next spot and click again. To stop it from drawing, right-click on the last point and click Exit Tool, or just press Escape on the keyboard. To create a curved line, click on the first point, then move the tool to the next point and click, hold, and drag the tool. A path is forming into a curve type. Once the curve is formed to the desired shape, release the mouse button. Move the tool to the next point and click, hold, and drag the tool. Another curve path is formed. Once the curve is to the desired shape, release the mouse button. Let's exit this tool by right-clicking on the mouse and select Exit Tool. Paths can be created with both straight lines and curves. Let's click once to start our line. Click again to create a straight line. Click in another direction, and this time hold the mouse button and drag, and a curve starts to form. Release the mouse button to create the curve. Notice here that even though we release the mouse button, there are these Bezier curve adjustment handles that we can move around to adjust the curve. To stop the path, we can press the Escape key on our keyboard. Let's delete these and create the first half of the leaf. Click once, move the tool straight down, click again, move the tool out on the side, click, hold, and drag to form the bottom of the leaf. Move the tool toward the top until the tool has a little circle by it. This indicates that the line will snap to the original point, making the object a closed object. A closed object will allow the object to have a fill, otherwise it remains a path. While the little circle appears, we can click, hold, and drag the tool to form the top part of the leaf, and release the mouse button. The leaf's curved edge needs some adjustment. To adjust the leaf, let's use the point select. Let's click on it. If we hover the mouse over the edge of the leaf and slowly move it down the path, notice that the point turns into this icon. This indicates we are over a point. Let's click on it, and the Bezier handles appear. Currently, this point is symmetrical, which is a little restrictive. Let's go to Design Central and change this. There are 3 types of curve type adjustments for a point. As mentioned, currently the point curve is set to symmetric, which keeps the curves on each side of the point restricted. In other words, what changes on one side of the curve happens to the other. The second is smooth. This is less restrictive in that it keeps the curve smooth, not allowing the point to become a corner. But each curve on the side of the point is allowed to change the shape of the curve. The third type is cusp. This has no restrictions to the point of allowing the point to become an angle, such as in the case of making a corner. For this situation, smooth would be the best choice, since we want to keep the smoothness of the curve, but at the same time, it will allow us more freedom to adjust the curves on the 2 sides of the point. Let's first move the point a little closer, and then make adjustments to the handles by clicking, holding, and then dragging them. Now we have the leaf the way we want it. We need to make a copy of it, mirror the copy, and place it next to the first half. As always, there's an easy way of accomplishing this in just a few steps. Let's click on the Select tool, reselect the object, click on the Arrange pull-down menu, and click on Mirror. This will display a red outlined copy. Now we need to adjust it so that there is a slight gap between the 2 halves. Since we want to make a mirrored copy and not just mirror the object, in Design Central we have to click on Keep Original. We can then adjust the space value, which can be positive, as well as negative. Notice though these 3 grab handles. We can use these to position it correctly. The top and bottom handles will rotate the mirrored copy, and the middle handle positions the copy. Let's use the middle handle to position it. Once there is a slight gap between the leaf halves, we can click on the green check button in Design Central. Let's select both halves and move the leaf to the right a little. Next, we need to make the stem of the leaf. To get more accuracy, let's zoom in to the bottom of the leaf. With the Rectangle tool, we'll draw a thin rectangle.